folks, all set? Sure. Good, yeah. Welcome. In this segment, we're going to be talking about anticipation, anticipating the attack, which can work out in your favor and sometimes not. Okay, so you got to be. This is where the experience, time on the mat, is really going to help you here. Okay. But I want to kind of pair this segment with blocking and pairing. Okay, so for example, if I look at him right now, okay, in this position, I know that this is going to be his strong hand. That he's going to go for the knockout with that one, right? I know that this one he's probably going to lead with. He's probably going to measure. This is usually a jab, measuring, okay? So if that's the case, I know that if I cross him up, if I go to this side, right, I'm going to be able to get in a couple of blows, maybe even knock him out, okay? Remember that the unofficial motto of Taekwondo here is 1 to 2 techniques is sufficient for victory, right? So that's what we're doing. So make sure you're acknowledging your points. You know, if he throws something at my head, and I know it's, you know, if he were to let that go, it'd do some damage. You know, I just like, you know, point, right, and there's just kind of a short break, and then you can go again. Okay, but if I come in, boom, 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 and he gets in a point, and I don't recognize it, next time I go in hard, he's going to let me know that he really scored. And I'll probably be going, okay, so we don't want that. So there's a high level of respect in free sparring, guys. But anticipating, okay? So if he throws his jab, okay, I anticipated it, but it's too late right now, right? I don't want it to come out, okay? So is there any rule that says I can't block it before he throws it? No. Okay. So I might have come in here, I'd throw in a kick, you know, and he's getting ready to jab, but before he jabs, right, before he even thinks about jabbing, that's where I'm coming in. Okay. So a lot of Baha'i red blacks, remember this drill in your semi-free sparring, where you throw the roundhouse kick, block. Okay, that's a similar type of motion. I'm not waiting for the punch to come out. Okay, if I wait for the punch to come out and block it, okay, I'm already in trouble. It's too late. Okay, it's not to say you can't move. It's not to say you can't get out of range and counter, that kind of thing. But what we're talking about here is anticipation. Okay, so if we're in a closed stance, he might lead with his hand here, but I know this hand is coming. So how am I going to deal with that? How am I going to mess that up? All right, so this one, boom, sorry. Training a little, barely. Okay, so my blocks are going to be very short. Okay, so they're not even a block even. I'm just redirecting. If I'm gonna block, if he throws his jab, right, I'm gonna step away. But I may not be able to step away, right? I might block and then counter. Okay, but you've got to have that plan, that setup to know what you're doing. But your body has to react to it. This is why we train and train and train, so your body can protect you. Okay, your brain keeps you out of getting in the situation in the first place, but once it's in your body's going to react and protect you. Okay, you don't have time to think about it. If I think, oh, when he throws that punch, then I'm going to do this, it's too late. The signal, he can punch 10 times faster than it takes for the signal to go through my eye, into my brain, reconnect to my reaction, whatever I'm going to do. Okay, so anticipate, boom. Okay, I can block before he punches. I'm also gonna, in a kick situation or a distance, right? You've got a lot of people with a bad habit that do this. Take a little step forward, okay? not, it's when I know it's coming, okay? So if I see that step forward, boom, that's where I'm going, because I know he just closed the distance. And if you watch the distancing video, you know, you've kind of started to figure out what that distance is. And as soon as he gets in my range, okay, when he does this, in his motion of doing this, I'm kicking, because his mind is thinking about doing this, okay? Not really kicking yet. He's trying to sneak in, okay? So that would be part of anticipation. What happens if you see somebody that's doing this? Okay, what are they getting? What are they setting you up for? What do you think is going to happen? Right? They're trying to do their back kick or spin hook kick, right? So watch your stance. Okay, if they're in a side stance, what's the majority of their kicks going to be? They're going to be these front leg kicks, right? They're going to be the cut kicks. They're going to be the roundhouse. Okay. As soon as their hips turn, okay, you know this is coming, because it's going to take a long time for them to turn the hips. I say a long time. These guys are really fast. You know, when that hip switches, it's going to be fast. Okay, but you can anticipate where that hip's going. You can anticipate what their motion is. You know, are they on their heels? Are they on the balls of their feet? Okay, what is their motion going to be? There's a technique called mirroring, where anybody been in sparring situation where your adrenaline gets going and you get really jittery and you're just all hyped up, ready to go, all right? So people get nervous, right? He might favor this open stance, right? And I might keep switching on him. And I'll switch back, and when he switches again is where I'm anticipating, you know, he's not going to be doing anything because he's focused on switching. There's a kicking opportunity for me, okay? So mirroring means he doesn't like what I'm doing, or he's trying to match what I'm doing, okay? He doesn't like the setups. He thinks I'm setting something up, and I am, but he doesn't know what yet, okay? So sometimes you can get your opponent to mimic you. On the advanced side, okay, you're going to watch the breathing, right? So when somebody's tired, okay, and they take that deep breath and go, okay, on that exhale is when you want to attack, because they're not ready for it. They're just like, and drop their shoulders, right? So in a mirroring effect, how can you do that, right? You've got to go, and then they might do the same thing. They might mirror you, and when they mirror you, boom, that's when you go. Okay? So, guys, I could go on for a couple hours on anticipation. Okay, but those are some of the basics, so you understand what we're trying to communicate is you know, where the high percentage kick is going to come out of from this stance. Okay, 80% of the kicks are probably coming from the back leg, 20% from the front. Unless you figured out your opponent in the first, 15 seconds of the round and see he's a front leg kicker. Then 80% is going to come from the front leg, 20% is going to come from the back leg. Right? So when you do your setups, you're going to be familiar with that, because he does not want to deal with my elbow, right? If I'm blocking here, if he throws that kick and I damage his foot, on the elbow, then that's going to mess him up. If I go this side, if I go close stance, okay, what's the high percentage kick? It's going to be to the open side usually, right? And front leg kickers, it'd probably be a more high percentage. Low percentage kick is the back leg, because he's got to deal with my elbow. Okay, he's got to deal with my shoulder. If he's going to my head, right? he's got to get over my shoulder. So there's those kind of situations. Let's see. I think that for basic, I think that about covers it. Okay, so drills. This goes along with reaction skill and just identifying, what those situations are, and be able to move in quickly. So if you want to be able to have a drill or something to practice, slide up, put your hand out. You can do this on your own. Slide up. In your imagination. Imagine how your opponent's set up. We've taught you the motion, positioning, foot motion, that kind of thing. So this is just kind of bringing it all together, all right? So what we don't want is, unless you've got a plan for this, we don't want to be in here like this and wait for the punch to come out and then block it, because I might as well be acknowledging a point then, because he's taking care of me, he's punching, it's like, good point, you got me, okay? But, if he's here, as that punch is coming out, or before it comes out and I block it, what he's gonna do is get frustrated, and then he's gonna start making mistakes. And then I'm gonna take advantage of those mistakes. Does that make sense? Okay, guys. That's all for now. Sure. Couldn't yet? Have fun with that. See you next time.